Did you know Lord Ram had an elder sister? Her name was Shanta. No big temples, no famous artis, no grand festivals in her name. But without Shanta, many traditions say even the birth of Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna might not have happened. So, who was Shanta? Why was she sent away from Ayodhya? And how did her life become the turning point of Ramayan's story? Let's uncover the forgotten story of Shanta, the elder sister of Lord Ram. Our story begins before the birth of Lord Ram. King Dasharatha of Ayodhya had one sorrow in his life. For a long time, he had no children. But according to many traditional tellings, there was a time when Dashrath did have a child, a daughter, his firstborn. Her name was Shanta. She was born to Queen Kaushalya, making her the elder sister of Lord Ram in later tradition. Shanta grew up in Ayodhya, intelligent, calm, and graceful. She was loved by everyone in the palace, and especially by her father. But destiny had written a very different path for her. King Dashrath had a dear friend, King Rampad, ruler of the kingdom of Anga. In some versions of the story, Rampad was facing two problems. First, he and his queen had no children, and the second, his kingdom was suffering from a drought and misfortune. Dashrath and Rampad shared a deep bond. To strengthen his friendship and to help his friend's lonely palace, Dashrath made a huge sacrifice. He gave his beloved daughter Shanta in adoption to King Rampad. Shanta left Ayodhya not as a princess of Kosala, but as the future princess of Anga. Imagine that moment. A young girl, deeply loved by her parents, suddenly becoming the daughter of another kingdom, all to uphold dharma, friendship, and duty. Shanta is said to have accepted this fate with maturity and grace, even at a young age. In Anga, she was raised like their own child, educated in scriptures, music, arts, and principles of dharma. Her life was about to connect two destinies, the destiny of Anga and the destiny of Ayodhya. Time passed. One day, the kingdom of Anga was struck by a terrible drought. Rain stopped, fields dried up, and people suffered. The royal priest told King Rampad, only a sage of great tapasya can end this drought. Only Rishi Rishyashringa can perform this ritual needed. But there was a problem. Rishyashringa was an extraordinary sage, raised in complete isolation from the world. No palace, no cities, not even the sight of normal people. How could anyone bring him to the kingdom without breaking the rules of dharma? This is where Shanta's role becomes pivotal. In many tellings, Shanta is the one who approaches Rishi Rishyashringa, gently earns his trust, and eventually marries him. With Shanta by his side, Rishyashringa comes to Anga, performs powerful yajna, and soon the kingdom receives the life-giving rain. The drought ends. The people rejoice. The bond between Shanta and Rishyashringa becomes a symbol of devotion, duty, and divine purpose. Now comes the most fascinating connection. When Anga's problem ended, Rishyashringa's fame spread everywhere, including to Ayodhya. King Dashrath was still suffering from the same sorrow. He had no sons. He was advised, invite Rishi Rishyashringa to Ayodhya. With his guidance, perform the Putrakameshti Yajna, a special ritual for the blessing of children. And guess who was now connected to Rishyashringa? Shanta. Because of Shanta's marriage, Rishyashringa agrees to come to Ayodhya. He performs the sacred ritual for Dashrath, And from that yajna, the divine payasam, sacred care, was given to Dashrath's queens, Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. And from that blessing were born Lord Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna. So, in many traditions, there is a beautiful idea. If Shanta had not gone to Anga, if she had not married Rishyashringa, if she had not been the bridge between the kingdoms, then the story of Ramayana as we know it might never have unfolded the same way. Shanta's sacrifice and quiet strength stands behind the very birth of Lord Ram. And you may ask, if Shanta was so important, why don't we hear much about her? The answer lies in how different texts and traditions evolved. In the Valmiki Ramayana, which is the most widely known version, it does not go into detail about Shanta. Her story comes from later texts, regional traditions, and oral stories. For many people, Ramayana means Ram, Sita, Lakshman, Hanuman, and Shanta disappears into the background. But that does not reduce her importance. In many ways, Shanta represents sacrifice, bridge of destiny, silent strength. She is the elder sister who stands behind the hero, making sure the path is clear, even if nobody remembers her name. So next time you hear the name Maryada Purushottam Ram, remember, somewhere in the quiet corners of our traditions, there is the story of his elder sister, Princess Shanta, the girl who left her home, became the hope of a drought-hit kingdom, and helped bring Lord Ram himself into the world. In our mythology, not every hero holds a bow, fights a war, or sits on a throne. Some heroes like Shanta shape destiny through sacrifice, silence, and unseen strength. So that was the story of Shanta, the forgotten sister of Lord Ram. If you liked the story, please don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends and family. For more stories like this, please subscribe our channel. I will see you in the next video soon. Until then, Namaskar.